Now I feel the time has come to explain literally to everyone what happened. Along the way, obviously I didn't want to play with Discord or Twitter. I was just sticking to just making 5 NFTs on Air NFT. But then, unfortunately, I was not well, and I was dragging myself through some form of my own version of hell. So I decided that the only way would be to sell some NFTs, some art from the heart. That wasn't the start. What we see is that we were already a little bit crazy before we developed a flow to let go. So, in the beginning, what were we bringing? Just some roses. Now, who knows what this would lead to? I was looking for the 5th rose, but I suppose I decided to put on some images of some ice. I thought that might be nice. But then this was bliss. Something I thought, wow, I'm glad I didn't make sure that I didn't miss. Not taking the piss, I carried on. I decided to make some scales. Now, these also fails to make any sales, but the tails carry on. They go wrong and grow more strong. Then, what comes along is just a mystery. Why do we start to make photography into plain weird? Where have we steered? It seems no longer it's cleared what it could be. But I think I was documenting a little bit of a journey to where I want to be. So, the trippy trip. Where do we start after the flip? We still feel sick, I think, with the magic mushroom. We start to be a bit of a loon with our tune. So soon, we carried on. Most of these, I believe, do have a song. Let's have a look around. It's minted about a year ago. We have to open in Trust Wallet to see the flow. But we carried on with what we could grow. Death come quickly. I think we were a bit more sickly, taking a picture of definitely a dead bird. And yeah, the word, it's definitely heard. The fairyland, the trip. So, how sick would I be if I was to start to write this crazy? I'm gone. Bye. Why would I be gone? What went wrong? Had I lost my song? Where had I gone? Oh, here we go. What did we grow? Some fairies. Now, I dare see that these continue the journey of where we learn that we can turn around and see something else to be found. It's profound that I see that the snails, I see that they never fails. Different imagery. It's what you want to see. Well, then I sort of wanted to invest because I thought Air NFT must be the best. On the quest, I see the storyteller. He should be a nice enough fella. The yellow of the bestseller. And the power of the flow. So that I let go and just followed. So, trouble on the double. Definitely, I see. More bugs, more thugs. What's happening? I don't know. Dragonfly, nice guy. Yeah, we start to fly. Artwork's guardian. Well, angel. Now this was the rise before the fall. The pride on the ride that I had something on my side. Now, wow. War of the wasps and the spiders. For the insiders. The green moon. Did this turn me into a loon? As soon as I mint, it goes on a sprint. Wow, this is worthy of a story to see. Ward of the wasps and spiders. Ah, some more for the insiders. The traveller, time unraveller. Well, this is a mystery who could bring down the gavel of who would sell them all. Ah, the Ephraim bot, when we believed that AI managed to try to build its own blockchain and make humanity go insane. Well, it did it. It managed it again. Or the mystery. MGBM Artworks, the Traveller. He's landing. He's found the scales. He knows the tales. He knows what derails. He has plenty on the plot. He knows what to be got. So the Traveller's landed. Who could it be? It's a mystery. Now we've got more scales. The story never fails. It continues with its tales. And then we decide to buy, not from a friend, but a random supply. And why? We thought, it's cheap to reap. Let's seek a peek. And then, wow, he sold more than me now. Oh, and look, the future timeline. Ooh, now, where do we go? Because we stopped what we could show. We decided that after all we had learned, what could have been earned from the wheels that turned. Time had been burned. We'd yearned so much. We'd developed a bit of a magic touch. But as such, we'd still not sold. How more could we unfold? Because this was going to be the journey to pure gold. We would go on a journey building a raft, because we were being daft, and we were having a laugh. Well, working on the craft, we worked our way through all the things that we needed to do. Score rapport, and sure, you may sell some more. Take the nice advice and share it twice. Add some spice. Do the things that brings your heart to the art, and then you'll see more may start. Now here we go with the flow. Some start off pretty low. If we go down and down and look around, some are pretty cheap to have been found. But as we carried on, we got the sales to grow more strong. And then, on and on, they kept on going. I'm showing that there's plenty that you should be knowing that must have gone on secondary, because it's quite scary. I can't see any that were for as cheap as to reap. I must have been asleep. Seep. I can't see any. Wow. So on secondary sales, I continue the tales. They don't fails. For me, it's been a good story. Let's have a look. There must be some that's still on the hook. These are like pages to a book, the digital ages. I started in the rages, I worked through plenty of stages. I now put all of my monsters in their cages. My mindset is to my best bet. I can select, I can anticipate what I can create. Every move that I can make is something that I like to stake. If I make a mistake, I just carry on. It's alright. Then I grow on to something more strong. So anyway, let's have a look at the rest of the play. At the account. My collections. There's plenty for anyone that wants to make those sorts of selections. MetaMask, it's a bit of a task, but if you do ask, it's pretty good. If you should buy on an exchange and then send through, because then you don't have to spend on the gas, which is a bit of an ass. But if you're looking for a digital class, Ephraim definitely to me is a money pot that's grown a lot. Some would say that it's got much more potential to grow much more mental. So there's plenty here that I need to, no fear, put out and then clear, see if I can sell them by the end of the year. And oh dear, there's plenty more that will appear. So as you can see, we sell from parts 1, 2, free. If we go with the flow, there's more to show. Oh. But I started, once I'd split myself in two, because it seemed the best thing to do. I needed to rebuild, and it was hard to yield from a baby form anything that would appear when my mind started to storm. So feeling extremely warm, with the brain going a little insane, sweat pouring out my ears, plenty of fears as my memory disappears, and it starts to become just one big long dream. It's obscene, but I followed a theme, I followed a flow, and there were signs that did show that carry on and nothing will go wrong. But to me that's just crazy. Nothing can be set in stone. You can own your own home if you set about on a route to tout the best ways to invest, build a quest and never rest. And lest you forget, I was on a one-way trip, so I let go and I made them pretty quick. In a blast, it couldn't last. I switched around with what could be found. So part 4 was the last of my score, as I let rip with the raw, as the monster did explore, coming back, as the darkness and the stress usually doesn't make me at my best. You can test, obviously, to see how much cadence and sense I make when I'm extremely tense. Now this is my collection, so some of these I buy off the supply with only basically from the money that I hold from everything that I sold. So I'm being bold in saying that some of these have really good communities, work 10 times harder than me, so in the future it could be crazy how much they could be worth. Does deserve, obviously, to serve looking for booking the best thing to be investing, and that was the quest that I did begin. So some of these are very pretty much active community builders or artists that have shown the way that it should be grown, and many to seek what you could own. I would say that these two, if they come through, then for because I've seen many of these come back on the track and start to stack again. They go just around a different bend, but I've seen many a friend never give in once they begin, and they've built an empire of desire, and they're a high flyer, and you should see that there's plenty more to score, obviously, for sure. And it seems a bit of a bore, but this is the core of what I do. If you look through, there's plenty of hue, and when I was in a stew, my brain was insanely burning on fire, so that was not actually the desire there. That was actually when my hands was as cold as ice and I felt frozen to the bone. I didn't want to moan, I just kept quiet and just kept on writing the seeds of positivity, trying to build it like electricity, get some momentum, get some movement, see some improvement in the fact that I just couldn't get up, couldn't get going. And the seeds that I've been sowing, obviously the upshoots from the grassroots, that over time that I would feel much more fine. Obviously I didn't expect to rhyme so much, but it managed to help touch an inner child, and I stopped going wild. I've become very mild, and I managed to find a bit of humility and work on the ability, and the support obviously that was key from the community whilst I was mental. I just did a madman scroll and couldn't talk at all. the silence was a bit like violence, I'm sure. You know, rebuilding myself from the core. I do explore the notion that, you know, you stir in your own potion, you make yourself feel more strong, you can make yourself happy, you can do what you want, do what you like, just lead yourself with the right night, and, you know, have the foresight to see, obviously, what other people see, share what you can dare, you know. And I believe that you really should actually, if you care, show that you care. If you've got something, a moment spare, do so. Show that you have the heart. It's a weird part of what is a daily struggle, but, you know, just one cuddle could end somebody's misery, bring them back on track, help people, chat, hold a hand, understand. People fall into a well. They can't spell it out. They just would start to shout. They get enraged. It's, you know, a stage of development where if you just stop that person feeling lost to the world, isolated, you know, whilst everything that I created, I was pretty much in my own place. I was lost. Even listening in a Twitter space, my mind would just race. I don't talk to other people. I just wait for my time, and then I would bust out a rhyme. It's unfortunate for me that it's an emotional intelligence that I've lost, because I just entered in a different state where my mind would want to create. So there's the general talk where you could go on the walk with the board and see what's to be scored, communities that do stuff for charity, communities that are PFP, but I wasn't going to join Discord, but then I started to want to keep my own record, so I don't get bored of writing, and it sometimes gets really weird or quite exciting, but it also can be a really shite thing. So you can see that obviously I go a little bit crazy and I have no control. I have no knowing when I'll stop flowing and keep having these issues where I kept going and going and going and going and going and going and going, and it's no slowing to how much there is. I should speed up the scroll. There we go, on a roll. And you can see that I toll so much. I barely do touch actually any social media. That's just a short one. Crypto. Here we have artworks. It's part of my research and what I know of adding and trying out new things, see what the heart brings. Some things do sting, but at the right point we'll see if it can begin. It's airdrops, they're quite often, so picking up in the flow plenty of art that people from the start are giving away for free. Editions sell well. I managed to get one for $8 to sell in a run of 100. I'd given most of them away, and it was on well, I gave them all away, but on secondary it went for $8. So, you know, to collect several hundred that may sell well one day is how I play. You know, I came on a quest to invest. I didn't have any money, not being funny. That's why I tried selling some NFT. When work went well and I thought I was going to forever sell, I did start buying. Those that I was trying on investing in, without even suggesting a thing, started buying me more so I continued to grow, and obviously I went in different ways, how it plays. I I've become an ambassador of a Discord that's one to be scored later on. It can grow more strong, but you can see it's a big city, many that come on a quest. I suggest obviously that more invest some time on the line. We got Troglodyte Society again. There's a variety I do like to see because it does it for charity. And we've got like Skirpy PFP, we've got Savage who's smarter than Babbage. It's something that, you know, is going on. If you're looking through the cabbage pit patch, he's one to catch. Many off the latch. Obviously we've got Dill, he's a thrill. We've got Sabat, who's actually one of the big artists that's part of this. There's many that's on a long list that are worth a lift of the Rift. So art therapy is a gift. You know, you lead yourself astray back to the ashtray where you smoke too much and such. Your mind, you can find obviously the best way to grind out a new you. You just have to follow through at every turn. Burn the old bad issues that, you know, you find come in the bind from past trauma, past events. It makes sense that if you don't let go of the baggage and start to live free of like the tyranny of what happens when you get in a bad way. I also like to play on writing on Medium. For many a season and many a reason I've covered nervous breakdown, looking for basically the thing that got my brain cooking, my body shaking in such a way that everything I was creating just seemed to be what was meant to be, even if it was crazy, if it was wrong, even if it just was off the wall crazy. I was curled up in a ball and the pain was insane. It was part of the maladaptive daydreaming where it just, the reams begin, and then even if it's hurting my fingers and the pain is crippling, I just kept doing the wrong thing. Believing in the right thing would begin. The story that makes your heart sing is the art that, you know, does begin to pull back a way that obviously your mind stops wanting to react in the dark way. The darkness is not something that you want to find in life. Search for the bliss, and don't miss the opportunity obviously to spend as much time as you see possible with those that you deem the most cool, and give it your all. I've been a fool, obviously. Maladaptive daydreaming, you just stuck. You wait for somebody to pull you from it rather than attentively wake up from it. So I was left to maladaptively daydream way too long. It grew more and more strong. It took my mind away, and I dreamed during the middle of the day at work. I can't believe how many people didn't just see that I was not a jerk and that I was unwell. People just thought I was that obsessed with wanting to sell some NFT when I was just lost in being crazy. I was lost in looking for a way out of my troubles. And, you know, the stubbles on my face grew into a feared and a very long beard. I didn't look after myself. My mental health was that bad. I was just completely and utterly mad. about achieving a dream of it can be done, what is to come. I don't know. It was believing I could do magic, and I was with a guardian angel pushing me on to carry the song to the end and forever blend that would manifest the best outcome, where everything that I'd done would pay off in some way. And right now, today, I'm much stronger and I can rhyme longer, obviously. I don't feel at all crazy. I see the delusional man that I was and the plan that I had, and believe that, yeah, like, you do have to work like you're mad, but you don't have to go into this maladaptive daydreaming thing where everything is on point, where you just have to do what needs to be done for